Well, Dan, it seems the Bears have found a quarterback in Justin Fields. I don't remember a time where I was so excited to watch the Bears offense get back on the field as I was last Sunday. He's Dan Wiederer from the Chicago Tribune. I, of course, am Dionne Miller. It was fun. It was really fun.
There's an excitement level that has been elevated here because
Yes.
of what they've been able to do for 3 games, and obviously the punctuation being Sunday against the Dolphins, being able to rush for 178 yards from a quarterback, an NFL league record for a single game for quarterbacks. But more than that, Justin also threw 3 touchdown passes, and everything looked to be in sync for much of the day. Now, let's remind everyone, the Bears lost the game. Right?
Yes,
They lost
yes.
35-32, and so the next step for this team is figuring out how to be successful and also get that end result. That's going to be a big challenge for this team as they go forward over the last 2 months of the season. But obviously, I think you mentioned it. The surge of excitement, the surge of energy is there, and now you got to figure out the proper way to build on it.
The only thing I want to make sure that we as the media guard against and even fans guard against is that he stays committed to the process. And same with Luke Getsy. Like, there's still a long process to go here. Just because things are working well, you don't want to just let him shine because he's the best player on the field. You want to make sure that he stays committed to the process that makes him into the quarterback the Bears need for years and years and years.
That's why I think the infrastructure here is so valuable, because I do think they have a system in place and a support structure around Justin that keeps him locked in on the grind, right? And keeps him in the process and keeps him growing and developing at the pace that he needs to develop on. This coaching staff never gets too far ahead of themselves.
Never.
The Chicago Bears fan base, it's a different story, right? They've already got Super Bowl parade plans for
MVP
2023,
award.
24, 25, and beyond. And so it's just about reining that into the proper perspective. Look, I think there was a lot of magical things that happened, a lot of special that happened against the Dolphins. But now it's like, how grand of a conclusion are you willing to draw? For me, you know me, I'm always a measured guy, and it doesn't resonate with the fan base all the time. But you have to be, in this league, consistent, right?
Yes.
That's the key to being a successful quarterback in this league, is stringing it together for more than 3 games. It's got to be 6 games, and then 8 games, and then 9 games.
Yeah.
And the longer you go, now you've established yourself as a guy that can be a playmaking danger every single week. The good news also, Deanne, is they've got the Lions coming to town.
Yes.
And so if you've got an opportunity to go against a defense that will allow you to throw the ball and continue that staircase climb that you're on, hopefully they can capitalize.
One of the rare times the Bears actually favored in this game against the Lions. What are they getting in Detroit? Because this is a team that obviously beat a reeling Packers team. But who are they? Have they even figured that out?
I can't figure it out at all, Deanne, because the first 4 weeks of the season, this Lions offense was as explosive as any in the league.
Yeah.
They were leading the league in scoring after 4 weeks, averaging 35 points a game. The last 4 games, they've averaged 12 points per game.
Right.
So they've dropped. And now the Bears are making their climb, and they're kind of meeting in the middle after starting the season offensively in such extreme places. Look, they upset Aaron Rodgers and the Packers at Ford Field last week, and Aaron Rodgers threw 3 interceptions that game in the red zone. You don't see that ever. And so now you have to be a little bit worried about how feisty the Lions defense is going to be. But at the same time, you just have to take care of your business. And the Bears also have to find themselves a defense.
They do,
right?
They do. And I feel like, last week was the shootout we anticipated. Obviously, the Dolphins have a much more talented offense than even the Lions do.
Yeah.
But where does this Bears defense take a step this week?
Yeah, I mean, look, like a week ago, we heard from defensive coordinator Alan Williams, and he said, without Robert Quinn and Roquan Smith, we will be better. He said, not we can be, we will be. And I think everyone in the room kind of laughed and said, there's no chance, right? You just lost 2 of your best established playmakers, and so now you have to figure out a realistic bar for what this defense is. The last 2 weeks, 1 game with Roquan, 1 without, they've given up 10 touchdowns.
Yeah,
that's so un-Bears-like.
And so much.
The statistical performance against the Dolphins was disconcerting. 0 sacks, 0 takeaways. The hits principle is built on
that.
Right, yeah. Getting sacks and takeaways and changing games in that regard. It's only the 7th time since I've been covering the team over the last 10 seasons that's happened, that the Bears have failed to get either a sack or a takeaway in a game. It's usually not a formula for success. And so now you've got to find your playmakers, right? You've got to see what you have in Travis Gibson. You've got to see what you have in Dom Robinson. You've got to figure out who the guys for your future are and how big of a role you can give them. And so that's why amid all the Justin Fields hype and hysteria, we can't lose sight of the fact that you can't be a championship team in this league if you don't have playmakers in all 3 phases, right? And so now they've got to find those guys and have them step up and make it a week where maybe the offense can get away with scoring 24 points and winning.
Yeah, well, that would be lovely if we could turn progress into a victory. But I have to give the defense some sort of grace and space for the fact that they went through such emotional turmoil for 2 straight weeks, just trying to figure out who's playing where. And again, Jack Sanborn is out there for a significant playing time for the first time in his career. So just they're growing. It's going to take some time. We knew that it was going to. It'd be fun if it was a win, though.
No question, right? And that's the next piece of this puzzle. I've been refreshed to hear from some of the guys in the offense this week who were agitated that they didn't get 1 more score on Sunday against the Dolphins. Because you have 2 possessions in the fourth quarter one with both of them with a chance to either tie or go ahead, and the Bears didn't score, right? And so that's the next thing. Cole Kmet, very straightforward in saying to be a championship level team in this league, it's about how do you execute in 2-minute drills, end to half, end to game, and go down and get yourself points. And so that's the next step for them. It would be nice if they could string some wins along. I know there's a lot of fans out there that say the more the losses you have, the better the draft pick you get.
I can't think that way.
You got to have wiring in your building to go out and seize victory when there's victories to be seized. And the Bears have failed on a couple occasions this year. You think back to the Giants game, the Vikings game, the Commanders game, the Dolphins game, right? Like to become a championship level team, you got to learn how to be a winner in big moments, right? And so all the statistical production in the world doesn't go anywhere if you can't finish it up with a victory.
Okay, well, I'll take the feel good from Justin Fields.
Which you should, right? Like, and that's what Chicago should embrace. Like, we set this up at the start of the season. 2022 was going to be about how much growth could Justin make. And what we've seen in the last month is a substantial amount of growth. Now, I think we're both realistic to understand that that's not going to be a straight curve up for the rest of his career. There's going to be a jagged dip here or there. But look, like when you're on one of these upward climbs, you embrace it. You put your arms around it, you get excited about it, and then you figure out where it can go.
Let's not have one of those dips against the Lions. That's all I'm asking for.
Right, because then you're going to need grace and space. I'm going to need grace and space. There's going to be emotional turmoil in the city, and it's not going to be good for anybody. So let's see what happens Sunday.
All right, looking forward to it, Dan. Thanks so much.
You got it.